You just watched a compilation featuring a real-life Spider-Man who showed up to stand in solidarity with the people in Minneapolis who were counter-protesting a white supremacist rally that was organized by self-avowed neo-Nazi Jake Lang. And if you're unfamiliar with Jake Lang, this is basically all that you need to know about him.
White Christian men are not going to sit around while you turn our children into a bunch of nigger lovers. Then I'm a Nazi, bitch!
Shut the fuck.
Yeah. Now, he is also a provocateur who harasses Muslims and even expressed his desire to murder them.
If I catch a Muslim that's coming at me and blow his head off outside my home and I get it on video, it'll be the most viral video of all time. Jake Lang blows the head off of a Muslim trying to jihad him. If I get the opportunity to slay one of these disgusting animals that's trying to threaten me and my country and my family, don't threaten me with a good time, right?
So as you can see, he's not subtle at all, and he often rallies support for fellow white nationalists such as Chud the Builder, who is a white supremacist live streamer that was charged with attempted murder. And on August 1st, Jake Lang called for his supporters to show up to court to support this, quote, white political prisoner. And on Twitter, he shared this shitty-looking AI-generated graphic advertising a rally that he'd be holding on August 22nd to support Shiloh Hendricks, who is the woman that went viral for calling a black child with autism a racial slur, who then subsequently raised nearly $1 million on Give, Send, Go. Now, in July, she was found guilty of disorderly conduct because of that incident and was ordered to pay a $1,000 fine, and she was put on probation, as NPR News reports. But after raising nearly $1 million, it kind of seems like she's still coming out on top, if you ask me, thanks to all of the glue-huffing cousin fucking white supremacists like Jacob Lang, who decided to reward her for harassing a black child. But the fact that she faced any accountability whatsoever is too much for Jake Lang, hence why he planned to rally to support her. But unbeknownst to him, a real-life superhero would show up and beat his fucking ass. And I just want to share these pictures from photographer Chris June, who captured Spider-Man in action. They are truly badass, and I feel like Chris is definitely going to get a job at the Daily Bugle for these because they are phenomenal. It shows how Spider-Man showed up, he protected his community from a violent white supremacist, and showed the world how to deal with real-life villains. And you couldn't see it because I had to censor it, but Jake Lang was holding up a sign that says, Jake Lang loves black people but hates racial slur. And we're talking hard R spelled out entirely. So he was very clearly trying to be offensive, trying to intimidate people and make them feel uncomfortable in their own community, which makes it all the more sweet to see somebody courageously stand up to him. But I'm sure that none of you are going to be surprised to find out that the cops actually sided with the Nazi over Spider-Man. Because, of course. And if you watch other videos, they basically acted as his personal security while he did this little white supremacist parade, which isn't surprising because they're cops after all and probably agreed with the Nazi. But ultimately, Spider-Man was one of 11 people that were arrested, and his identity was actually later revealed. Fox 9 KMSP reports, a man wearing a Spider-Man costume at Saturday's protest identified by Minneapolis police as 33-year-old William Nicholas Love has been charged with fifth-degree assault, fear of bodily harm, or death. A detailed complaint has not been filed against Love. He was charged through the Minneapolis City Attorney's Office. Lang will not face felony charges for Saturday's rally. In a statement on Tuesday afternoon, Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty said her office was declining felony charges against Edward Jake Lang related to his rally outside Minneapolis City Hall over the weekend. Moriarty says her office didn't have a path forward for felony charges to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt after a review of extensive evidence of communication and logistical coordination between the Minneapolis Police Department and Lang's security detail. Now, I get it. Spider-Man in this instance technically broke the law. We all saw the assault on video, but most people don't view him as a criminal. On the contrary, they think he's an actual hero who is putting his body on the line to defend people in his community from a fucking Nazi. And as a thank you for his service, people have donated thousands and thousands of dollars to him across multiple GoFundMes. The official one that was set up by his fiance hit $60,000, and he takes the time to explain why he sprang into action, writing, "I'm known as the Minnesota Spider-Man, and I'm asking for help after a violent incident in downtown Minneapolis on August 22nd. That day, racist supremacists invaded our streets and threatened the peace of our community. I tried to block their truck's path with a police barricade, but police removed it and let them through. As the vehicle moved toward the crowd, I jumped onto the moving truck because I felt I had to do whatever I could to protect the people around me. I was pushed off, punched in the face, and trampled by police who, in that moment, protected the real threat instead of the community. After I was already off the truck and on the sidelines, about 5 police officers came from behind, tackled me onto the concrete with full force, and took me into custody without reading my rights. I am now injured and unable to perform, and this has affected both my health and my future. I'm raising funds to help cover my medical bills, support my recovery, and any issues this may cause in the time ahead. As my identity has been revealed, I now have to protect my family and assure our safety. I did what I felt I had to do to protect my community. This fundraiser is being ran by William Nicholas Love's fiance and partner of 5 years. Please consider helping in any way you can. Every donation, share, and message of support means so much to me and will make a difference in my life as I work to recover from this trauma and keep fighting for what's right. And there are videos to corroborate his account of how the police treated him, but I mean, you can just tell this is obviously a very genuine and caring person, and I absolutely salute you, Spider-Man, and I thank you for your service, because this is obviously a brave act. Again, he put his body on the line, and he's suffering the consequences because of it, because he felt like this threat could not go unchallenged. And I'm going to link you to his GoFundMe down below if you want to send him a few bucks, and I'm going to encourage you to do that because, you know, even superheroes aren't immune to medical debt in 2026 America. And I just want to point out that in a multiverse with various Spider-Mans, William Love, that's our Spider-Man, okay? I say that because an imposter named Mason DeChamp, who calls himself pro-life Spider-Man, scales tall buildings to protest abortion, and in 2024, he actually climbed to the top of the Las Vegas Sphere and reportedly caused $100,000 in damages and was ordered to spend 45 days in jail and pay a $77,000 fine to the company that owns the Sphere. Now, I will say that it is just objectively impressive that he was able to do that. And I'm not going to shed any tears for property damage done to a corporation. I think that they're going to be okay overall. Hate the cause, like the forced birther shit is very cringe and stupid. Nonetheless, you know, he's not public enemy number one in my mind. He's just somebody who's misguided that is able to do cool things. But I just want to make it clear that in a world where there are multiple individuals purporting to be Spider-Man, William Love is the real Spider-Man. That's the one that we claim, okay? But in all seriousness, the growing prominence of self-avowed white supremacists like Jake Lang, it really is disturbing. And it's even more disturbing to think that there are members of Congress like Randy Fine who essentially hold the same views towards Muslims. And we just found out recently that a staffer of a Republican was an avowed neo-Nazi as well. So it's scary to see how prominent this is becoming, and we do need to take the threat of white supremacy seriously for once as a country. With that being said, people like Jake Lang, they aren't doing themselves any favors either. I say that because every time he does one of these little stunts, it almost always backfires for him and goes very, very terribly. Earlier this year, he actually held a pro-ICE rally, and once again, he got his ass beat by counter-protesters who refused to let white supremacy go unchallenged in their city. And I actually did a full segment talking about this event, and I'm going to link to that down below and encourage you to watch it if you want to see him get embarrassed again. But for those not interested in watching that video, I at least want to show you this moment where the universe joined with the counter-protesters to smite him.
Jake, why are you here?
Amazing. It was like a toddler who's learning to walk for the first time tumbling. He was just so tired and distraught. But in closing, I just want to remind people that white supremacy is an inherently violent ideology that needs to be pushed back against forcefully. You're not going to de-radicalize them with hugs or handshakes or by defending them from mobs or by debating them. They're not going to see the humanity of people of color if you show them kindness and empathy. That's not the way that this works. The only way to respond to the threat of Nazism is to drive them the fuck out of your community as forcefully as possible, full stop. And I commend Spider-Man and everybody else who showed up who fully understand the threat that he posed to their community. This is how it's done, and it's the only way that you should respond to a threat of white supremacy when it infiltrates your community.
Luigi not happy. Oh, oh, oh.